I'll explain how to deal with the final piece of a puzzle in completing the paperwork if you are a self-builder in the UK. It is all about building control. You don't necessarily need building control approval for smaller projects. For example, if you changed your windows, you need to employ a competent person who is registered with a competent person scheme. So after installing your windows, they can certify and issue you a fencer certificate. You will need it if you plan to sell your house. Very often they require documents to prove that your windows are installed by a competent person. If you're doing things yourself, then you will need a building control to approve it. For example, we are installing windows ourselves. We had a chat with our building control officer, and we will take pictures and we'll send him pictures of our works. Maybe I'll take a video to make sure he's confident and happy that we installed the windows correctly and the house is insulated properly. So we needed building control for our project because it's a fairly big build, and you have an option. You can get a quote from your local authority or a private quote. I was advised to go with a local authority because it isn't a complex project and apparently it is easier. So you go on your local authority page and you should have links, and the links are separated. One link is apply for planning permission, and then there is building control. So you click on the building control link and you'll find a tab to quote for the work. So when you click on the tab, you will have to explain what do you need from the building control. Depending on the complexity and extent of the work, they send you a quote. In my case, it cost £1,300 to have a local authority officer to inspect and sign off my build. So you need to check your local authority, what they require, and go from there. So there are some rules when you do your project. So if you do demolition of some significant part of your house, you need to notify building control at least 6 weeks before the demolition starts. Then you need to notify building control at least 2 working days before you start the building, and 5 days after finishing your build. What building control do? So they come and inspect the build at various stages of the project. They will tell you when they want to see and what they want to see. Sometimes a picture is sufficient as long as it's clear and you explain what you do. Use a tape measure to prove that you actually comply with the requirements, and you'll get an email back saying, yeah, happy or not happy. In my case, building control is a friend because I want to get it right, and they give you advice on how to comply with current building regulations and how to make sure my house is safe. They are quite flexible. You only need to contact them day in advance and they come and inspect. For example, very important thing is when you dig up your foundations, do not fill with concrete. You need to get prior approval by a building control officer that they're happy with the foundations. It's also a good idea to see whether your project needs building control approval. Is just to go to www.gov.uk and you'll have a lot of information. So building control is an important step, and following their advice and following their rules is important. Otherwise, it might cost you a lot of money.